Greetings, gamers. I'm Shoot Kapow. Did you know that purple is my 8th favorite color? 9th. Everyone knows it by now, purple Pikmin were absolutely busted in Pikmin 2. Heck, they were so strong that apart from a few elemental gates, you could probably solo the whole game with them. When you threw them, they had a chance to stun any enemy near them when they landed, and they were twice as strong as most other Pikmin types, even reds. They also had a carrying strength of 10 as opposed to other types 1, but compared to their prowess in battle, it was often overlooked. It wasn't even where the power of purple ended, though. Ultra Bitter Spray was a purple juice which you could collect en masse in later caves because of doodle bugs and, Olimar magic. It's let you turn any enemy to stone, completely immobilizing them for a few seconds while your Pikmin just beat them up. Admittedly, you do reduce damage while the enemy is under the effects of the spray, but with purples and spicy spray, that's kinda like saying, sure, I stole this guy's Wii, but at least I left him with his copy of Ninja Bread Man. So yeah, purple Pikmin and their best friend Afton Juice were pretty busted in Pikmin 2, and Nintendo was pretty right to put them to the side in Pikmin 3, but this is just murder! First, let's take a look at how the white Pikmin were handled. In Pikmin 2, you can get them from ivory candy pop buds, and they can run fast, and along with being immune to poison hazards, they'd give any enemy that ate them the tummy rumblies. They're mostly used just for poison puzzles and carrying things back quickly, and that's about how they're used in Pikmin 3's mission mode. Poison hazards were removed, but under such a strict time limit, their speed really helps to get treasures back to the pod. So white Pikmin got off easy, but how did they handle the already overpowered stuff from 2? Yeah, Bitter Spray being cut from the game entirely, while a bit harsh, makes sense because A, the game's already too easy without it, and B, it kinda just takes all the combat out of the game. And while it's refreshing in 2 super hostile caves, there's nowhere in Pikmin 3 that's near as tough as Dream Den. My problem was the purple Pikmin. They were shoved into a select few mission mode stages and are borderline useless in combat. Their stun chance was completely removed and their slam attack doesn't even do damage, and they weren't any stronger than red Pikmin anymore. This, paired with their slow speed, meant it was better to keep purples to the side and let them carry objects, which, admittedly, they were great at, but you don't tell a professional football player, well, you're a pretty good musician after they break their leg. Well, yeah, purples kinda suck in 3 compared to how good they were in 2, you might be saying, but that's been said so many times before, why bring it back up now? Well, this isn't a one-time thing. In fact, Nintendo has quite a history of nerfing things into the ground, and that's what I wanted to take a look at today. First, I'll address the elephant in the room, or rather, the fox. It's no secret how good Fox is in Super Smash Bros. Melee. With tools like great kill power on his smashes and up air, among other attacks, shine canceling, wave dashing, and just great speed and combo game, it's been said that his potential is theoretically limitless. True, human players might struggle to perfect Fox, but that doesn't stop him from remaining at the top of many Melee tier lists. So how was Fox handled in the sequel, Super Smash Bros. Brawl? Well, to say the least, he fell from grace quite a bit. Just kill him now. Fox lost a lot of tools going into Brawl. First off, the lack of wave dashing and the loss of shine canceling, among other buffs to it and other tools in his moveset, reduced his combo game quite a bit. Brawl also added tripping, which, for a ground-heavy character like Fox, was just salt in the wound. It was clear then just how vulnerable a glass cannon character was when you take away the cannon part. Pikachu, who's been a great character for pretty much the entire series, countered Fox pretty hard, and there wasn't a whole lot Fox could do from C tier. Now, admittedly, some characters started to pick him up near the end of Brawl's competitive lifespan to counter Meta Knight, but by then it wasn't really enough to take him back to even half his power in the Melee days. Speaking of Meta Knight, his pure power in Brawl rivals Melee Fox's placement, seeing him at the top of virtually every serious tier list. He basically plays like a turbo mode character among all the relatively sluggish characters in Brawl's slow engine, and tripping doesn't bother you as much when your opponents are playing Smash and you're playing Balloon Fight. His frame rate is ridiculous too, with aerials that come out in 5 frames or less, and most of his moves not being far behind. His kit is chock full of great, quick options and combo tools, and one of his best aspects is his recovery. You see, Brawl introduced gliding, which let Meta Knight recover from basically anywhere, which, paired with his moveset full of recovery options, makes him pretty busted. His down special also lets him disappear indefinitely, which was banned from tournament play for obvious reasons. When Smash 4 rolled around, Meta Knight initially lost pretty much everything making him good. His frame data was nerfed, his kill power was reduced, and gliding was completely removed, likely purely because of how well Meta Knight used it. Luckily, soon after the game's release, a patch was dropped that gave Meta Knight back some of his power, and he sat comfortably in mid-tier for the rest of the game's lifespan. A pretty extreme nerf, yeah, but at least it didn't last too long. What did last pretty long, though, was the final match of EVO 2018. It's time to talk about Bayonetta. So the newest addition to the Smash Bros. Pantheon, in this video at least, of course has all the normal broken character things, great moves, broken recovery, combos to rival and even far surpass Brawl Meta Knight's up air chains, and Witch Time, a counter that slowed down the opponent immensely, letting you get even more insane combos off of it. Throughout the rest of Smash 4's lifespan, people absolutely hated Bayonetta. She was the number 1 on the tier list, true, and that led to many people finding her playstyle boring to watch, since she'd win pretty much any game. When she was first added, she was incredibly easy to pick up, as someone was able to play her for a week and then win a huge tournament with her. Many patches after nerfed her quite a bit, but they more just so made her harder to pick up than anything. Pro players were still dominating the competitive scene with Bayonetta, and it's no surprise that Nintendo nerfed her so far into the ground that in Ultimate, she's in the lower mid-tier with characters like Pichu. Sure, these characters may have been nerfed since their debuts, or just Melee in Fox's case, but they'll always be remembered as titans of their respective games, especially as Fox continues to evolve in Melee's ongoing meta. Well, that was quite a bit of Smash talk. I've been playing the series for a while, but I don't usually make content around it. So let's move on to something more familiar to my audience. If you've ever played competitive Pokemon, or even heard anything about specifically Red, Blue, and Yellow, or Gen 1, you'll know the sheer power of the Psychic type. It was supposed to be weak to Ghost, but a glitch made it immune to it. It wouldn't have mattered anyway, due to the only Ghost type line also being Poison type and thus weak to Psychic, and the only attacking Ghost move besides Nightshade, which did set damage, being Lick, which was physical, while Gengar was a special attacker and having 30 base power anyways. Its only real weakness was Bug, and its strongest member was the Poison type Beedrill. Psychic basically had no weaknesses, and the only type that resisted it was itself. It had some great Pokemon too, such as Exeggutor, Alakazam, and the legendary Mewtwo. Special attack and special defense were also one special stat in Gen 1, meaning that if a Pokemon was good specially, it was both strong and bulky. Moving into Gen 2, Game Freak took steps to specifically nerf the Psychic type. They added Dark, a type that was both immune to Psychic and super effective on it, and Steel, a type that resisted Psychic. On top of this, the Special Split was introduced, cutting the special stat into the two stats we know today, and limiting many Psychic types bulk. This, among buffs to other types, put Psychic down to the lower mid-tier in most type rankings, where it is sat comfortably as a mostly passive type using status moves for the last 8 generations. Well, this has been a short, one-off sort of video, but it was pretty fun. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like and subscribe because I enjoy making this kind of content, and comment below any stuff that Nintendo nerfed heavily that I missed. Make sure to also follow me on Twitter and join my Discord for updates on my content and to just vibe with other Pokemon and Pikmin fans. With that, this has been a fun video, but it's over now. So until next time, this is Shoot Kapow, over and out.